Okay, it's 6:32. I'll call this work section of the Snellville Mayor and Council to order for September 12, 2016. First, review the regular business and public hearing agenda items. Is there anything on there? Got heartburn for anybody they want to discuss before?
I'd like to add an item for discussion under Roman numeral 5, letter D, if possible. And that will be access to the senior center.
That would be at the work session?
Yes, work session.
Right now, we're going over the regular business agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But we'll certainly.
Barbara, you didn't clarify.
We certainly will add that. We will add that for you.
He didn't need clarification. He actually started
We'll,
on the spot.
You actually.
duly noted and recorded,
All right,
as it is written, as it'll be.
okay. Do you want me to bring it up again later?
No, you won't have to, I'll bring it up for you.
This is recorded so you can play it back and you'll know what you did.
Anything under the regular business?
Regular business session?
Just a couple of quick notes on the budget amendment. Normally, those are just moving some funds around, but this time we had the payoff of the Wisteria loan at the end of the year that we didn't know if we were gonna still have that property, if it'd be paid off before. So we had to amend the budget to take care of that $540,000 expenditure. The bottom line of the, right now, it's not an audit, but the bottom line right now is it looks like we'll be about $250,000 in the black on the FY16 budget. So, but that's why that necessitated that.
And that's the only thing that's changing in that budget.
Yeah, well, we're just like what we've done before, moving some expenditures around to.
Transfers are higher, weren't they?
What's that?
Weren't your transfers higher for your?
A lot of the, obviously, revenues were a little higher, transfers on sanitation were a little higher. And, we feel like this year, we've hit the budget a little bit better sanitation-wise, knowing what the new numbers were. But it changed several items, but that was the budget changed by exactly that amount, that $538,000. So, and overall, it's good news. And of course, we've borrowed that. So.
Anything else under,
Can we talk about nuisances? Because we got two of them on here.
we talk about them now, you mean, or you want to talk about them?
Just an update on them. Because these just kind of sprang, I wasn't aware of them prior, I'm just trying to.
Where's,
We've got a couple.
This is
Jason's on
Jason's
vacation.
on vacation.
Yeah, Chuck's handling the presentation
Okay.
of these.
Okay.
This is really your nuisance, your cleanup stuff is beginning to get back where it should be.
Good, okay.
So these are very early, and what's happening is we're getting authority to move through the nuisance process. Hopefully it won't be necessary, but we're getting them early with your approval. And then it'll go a lot quicker than the last one did because we're back on system, so.
Because they look pretty messy.
They're messy, they're messy.
Well, I said in the meeting that I had with Tony and Butch earlier, that I really like the idea that we're doing these at a public hearing. We're bringing the problem forward, we're identifying the properties and things like that at a public forum. It's good, I think it's good to let people know we will go to that extent. And that we are that serious about making sure that the properties in Snellville stay up, or it's gonna cost you to keep it up. So I just think it's just a good thing all around.
Okay.
This is the first time. Barbara, I don't remember, we've never done this at a meeting before, have we? Do you remember?
Yeah,
We've
because,
done nuisances.
yeah,
before.
because we have to vote on it.
Yeah, not this early in the process.
Not this early in the process, so they would identify the properties, I just don't remember doing it.
You probably
I remember we
done it.
just did on an address or something where.
Y'all have done this before, and the difference between.
I think the very first one was in your neighborhood, that
Hampton Ranch.
Hampton
Yeah, that
Roads,
Hampton
right?
Ridge.
Y'all
I
got really
remember
good
that
at this, 4 years ago. They would come up just like these are. As soon as the planning department had them, we would get authority to push them right after y'all adopted the nuisance provision. And so this is just back to the normal way we process these. The difference was the last one you had, it came to you as a complaint first. And so it took a couple of meetings for it to get on the agenda, for us to get the nuisance action. And so you're about a month ahead of the schedule than on the last
I think
one.
this is better, doing it this way, getting them up front.
Well, yeah, because then we can go ahead and
Right.
we got a hammer to.
Well, it sends a
over
message.
somebody.
Send a message to the guy next door who thinks he can go another 3 weeks or something. Okay. So there's nothing more on the public hearing then? Are you okay, is that enough for you on the nuisances? Okay,
I don't want to be a nuisance.
Too late, Dave.
we're gonna have to talk. Okay, correspondence, do we have any correspondence?
No, sir.
Okay, city attorney?
Just have a few things that are needed to discuss in executive session.
Okay, well, the exec session, we'll have that before meeting. Update on Amanda Riley Memorial, which,
Bobby, what would you say? We're about 6 weeks out from receiving the stone.
I would say right now, as I understand, we're at least 6 weeks. It may change with a week.
But we don't have a dedication date yet.
No,
When we know exactly, we'll work on the date and we'll have it put
right.
on the
And
bottom
the
of the
biggest
stone.
thing is the people that are doing the stone, they've got to put it in production and give us a time when they're actually going to start engraving it. So at that point, we'll be it'll be safe to pick a date, a lot safer.
But they've been paid and it's underway.
okay, next we got sponsorship of Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful Governor's Environmental Address. Bobby,
Well, let me defer that to Butch. We, in the past years, we've sponsored a table at, this address. And we just want to continue that and continue to be a part of that, Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful and just, be active in that arena with our world-class recycling center and things like that. It gets a lot of opportunity to be noticed.
have we paid for that in the past?
We did last year. And it's $1,500 this year. I think it went up a little bit. And like Tony was saying earlier, the governor is going to be the keynote speaker, I guess, but it's $1,500 for a table.
Table of 10. So, this is something that I think needs to come to council to discuss and decide what you want to do with it.
Because that's really pretty much all governmental stuff, isn't it? I haven't ever been to something like that before.
Well, when you say governmental, I mean, it's,
I mean, it's all the Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful and
Right.
government officials and.
for the most part, I mean,
Yeah.
there's the
Couple
sponsors
private
of, there's a lot of private industry is there. I mean, it's a good mix. It's a good mix.
We talked to last time, similar situation where you're purchasing a table to attend an event. It becomes this question, y'all analyze it as though, okay, if it's a nonprofit, can we make that contribution? And this is probably a clearer picture of the circumstance where it is networking. You're dealing with a governor who does a lot of grants and other things that are critical to city operations that you get just sort of one-time chance to be with and talk to, along with interworking with other governmental people and private people who are there, much like the Chamber of Commerce event that y'all sponsor too. So this is really a clear picture of what you're doing. You're attending an event and it's public relations and relational communications for the city, on the city's behalf, and you're evaluating how valuable is that. My assessment is you can't really function without going to these events. People expect you to be there. They expect you to have that conversation. They expect you to hear what's going on environmentally for the county and what the governor predicts. And this is the only place you can go and get that.
So, is there anyone who does not want to proceed with getting the table?
Because we have his blessing.
And there'll be 10 people at the table. You all just let us know which one of you all want to attend that. Okay, and then we'll see what we have.
Please,
After you
just-
do that and give
When
you
is-
the
when
web
is it?
on
What's the
staff.
Give Mary
date?
Ann
What's
a
the
call.
date?
What's the date, you know?
27th.
Oh.
Is it,
On Tuesday.
Tuesday.
27th of,
September 27th?
It's at lunch.
Oh, can't go.
is that public safety?
It's
night?
lunch.
Yes.
It's lunch.
Yeah.
Brittany can have my seat.
I don't know, she's not going to.
So we can have a safe lunch.
so if you just have Mary Ann send out a email tomorrow asking who's going to attend, so we'll have it. They can respond in email. Okay? I'll turn it over now to Butch on our ongoing project sheet.
Okay, the Town Center Working Plan, I think everybody has been delivered the CPL update. We can, if we need to have a work session to talk about that, look at that, it's just important that you have a chance to review and be comfortable with that. And we really, Eric and I were talking today, we really need to talk about coming to some type of finalization, final acceptance of that plan, so we can have boards made for PR purposes and whatnot. So however you guys want to proceed from here, let us know. But we really, a lot of questions out there. We met with a Realtor this morning, to see how his piece of property fits in, and there are just a lot of things going on out there. So finalization, acceptance, whatever you want to call it, we need to get to that point.
It'd be nice to have that for the redevelopment summit on October 6th.
October the 6th. We'll have make a lot of contacts there. So how would you like to, do you have any?
We should find the
Well, I mean,
PR.
there's been, I had some questions about that plan with that square footage and that atrium and things that have not been, no one's gotten back to me on whether they've been discussed or not. So, I mean, I'd like to know where we are with that. And
Well, that's when, I thought we decided that was when you get into the final,
that's what, that's what
Blueprint
he's
of the-
asking right now, where we are with that. Am I right?
well,
Well, for
But I
the
think this-
final master plan.
yeah, I think the final master plan was just where
Higher
things are gonna
higher
sit.
version?
Yeah, where
Higher
things are gonna
version?
sit, not
That's fine, as long as
necessarily
we're
exactly
not-
what,
As long as we're not saying, okay, no, we
Committee,
like
yeah.
that.
No,
We're
it's
committed to that.
It's a concept.
yeah.
Yeah.
That
Still a
footprint
concept.
even. I'm not even convinced that footprint is the right footprint. So we're not, we're not,
That's 100,000 foot. That says there's gonna be a building.
all right,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Unless you really want the building in a completely different location.
No, that was not the question, no.
Okay. The next item, the joint city and county plans, I'm going to hand out a timeline and to each of the council members. Timeline that Jeremy Brand has put together, a draft for our review, your review. And please take some time and over the course of the next week, and then when I get back, I'd like to set up some small group meetings and go over this, so everybody can be comfortable with the strategy and timing of where we go next with you can call it marketing, call it public communication, just how we line everything up. We have a good idea of what we need. We're working in several areas to meet those needs, and this is an idea, this is Jeremy's idea of how we propose that to the public. So please take a look at this, and we'll have those small group meetings when I get back.
Prior to our next meeting.
Yeah, prior to
So we'll
those.
be able to discuss this at length more
Yep.
at our next work session, okay? Please get yourself familiar with that.
More internal marketing, public relations. Brian will have a draft brochure from the Public Works Department and the Recycling Center at the next meeting. Tree replacement at DDR, that has been adjudicated. They have paid their fine. And do we have an estimated date of when when it comes to the council?
They're still filling out their rezoning
Okay.
application.
Okay.
And then it'll go through the whole process.
Yeah.
Appreciate the planning.
So it may be December,
Very well.
probably. Okay, great. Town hall meetings, we have, things get busy in the fall, apparently. The open date at First United Methodist is a Wednesday. It's the 19th, from 7 to 8:30. And on that date, if you guys are okay with that, I've scheduled Scott Shelton from Gresham Smith, who's the designer of the intersection, to come and talk about traffic flow. So not going to talk about property acquisition. We don't want to get into that discussion. That's between the state and the property owners. But he can go over the engineering and the intent of the design and how it's going to work. And then we'll also, he'll probably take 30 or 45 minutes, and then we'll go over the survey results of the town center survey.
How are we gonna build this?
What's that?
How are we gonna build it? How are we gonna build this to the people who get them there?
How are we gonna sell it?
You can sell
Well,
it.
yeah, I think you've got two topics that people are pretty interested in.
Well, I think, yeah, something catchy, like you've heard about it, you wonder how it operates, now you come and see how it, something like that, you know, you come and see how it's, you've heard about it, you've wondered about it, come and take a look.
Trying to
Something
figure it
like that.
out.
Is he gonna have some kind of video, I guess?
He is,
of how-
he is.
The same one.
He'll have
Truck never
PowerPoint.
moves.
And,
Thought there might be something new.
well,
Truck
yeah,
still is a
yeah,
board.
yeah. But,
Simulation activity.
we'll,
Little pocket trucks.
I've asked Jeremy to think about that too. And we talked about it internally a little bit. We'll send out a theme, and see what you think about it.
Now, we had tentatively set it for October 6th, but obviously that
So
date's
that's
not
off.
available.
Right,
So is everybody good with doing it on a Wednesday?
Well, I'm fine for me, I don't know about anything else.
I thought it was important to keep some,
Just to keep it out there.
stability at the same location.
Yeah.
and
Same time.
the availability of, what's his name too, is crucial to, you know,
For Scott to be here.
yeah, for Scott to be there
Yeah,
is really
yeah,
important.
absolutely. So that's the 19th?
And he can be there, so.
Well, historically, we've always tried to avoid Wednesday simply
Wednesday
because
is
of
a
the
church services.
church,
Yeah.
Wednesday night church services, so. But if there's no way to avoid it.
We'll give it a shot this time and see what kind of
Yeah.
turnout we
But the
get.
church is open, so
I guess they don't have a
they
conflict.
don't have, or not in that room anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, when it comes to the Citizens Academy, I hope you're thinking about your 5 folks.
Well,
Arian,
let's get into that. Here's what's gonna happen. Tomorrow, Arian is gonna send you an email with 5 applications in it. We each have to turn in 5 people who we want to go through Snellville 101. The people in the room who wanna go through Snellville 101, there's gonna be 30 people in the first class. And each one of myself and each one of the council members are going to be putting 5 names forward. So if you want to attend, just get with myself or one of the council members and let them know that you want to be in the first class.
I got one.
Are we
get the
limiting,
word out
are we limiting the class size?
This time.
Did you say to 30?
this time. We hope we have 30. I mean,
I'd
that's,
be glad to get 30.
but we're each responsible for bringing our 5.
That's a pretty
And
good
then-
number.
And that's not,
Sessions.
all that, just turning the name in and them declining is not really a victory. I would not consider that a victory. I only consider a victory if I turn the name in and then Butch calls them and they're just like overjoyed when I come and pick the book up right away.
Would you like to attend? I'll put your name in.
You know, that-
Nominated, I shall not serve.
That's just me. That's just me. I don't want to influence y'all on how you do it.
Right.
That's just me.
Overjoyed.
Okay,
Teacher internship, I think that, you can see on hold, I think that's probably the best way to describe that right now. UDO, I talked to Caleb Rossico, he is working on those guidelines and the coding. We're still on track for November Planning Commission, December mayor and council adoption. Normally, we have one meeting in November, one meeting in December. This is probably going to call for a called meeting, either in November or December.
what is the schedule in November? I don't think that, I think the second, when is the 4th?
14th and then the 28th.
Thanksgiving.
Which, and Thanksgiving's early,
It's
so,
before the 28th.
yeah, so if you really wanted to have that second meeting in November, rather than having a specially called meeting, we could do it because it's not that weekend.
It's the Monday after Thanksgiving holiday. Is that what you
It's not
said?
the Monday before, yeah.
Yeah. Because Thanksgiving is the 24th. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? If you're gonna have to have another meeting anyway, I mean, if you don't do it then, we're gonna have to schedule it sometime else, and it's a busy season for everybody.
No, I'm fine with having a meeting that night.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we'll leave the second meeting.
Did we,
We may have canceled.
was it canceled at the beginning of the
re-advertise
year?
it. We probably did.
I
Yeah.
think
it was put to be decided.
Okay, to be
okay,
announced,
okay.
okay.
Sounds like it's been decided.
Yeah,
So it's been canceled, we have to uncancel it.
Charter Review Committee is chugging along. eBay sales, working on inventory control and identifying the sales items, the old IT stuff. Recreation and senior planning, had what I thought was a very good meeting with a group of 30 or 40 seniors to talk about SPLOST and senior services last week, just to kind of get their support for SPLOST and where our needs are going. Roundabout construction, had an update today from the right-of-way people on FARS. They have acquired 2 more parcels and have 2 meetings scheduled tomorrow. One of the parcels is owned by the city, which we will donate to the project. So they are they're pushing the negotiator on that project. We should have everything in hand, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Oak Road sidewalk had some utility issues that caused a delay in the project. Utilities that were not located properly, those have been resolved. They have fixed the two retaining walls where those conflicts occurred. You probably noticed that they have started back on the driveways, starting from the west to the east, and so they're back out there full strength. 78-124, really no change there. Right away still going on. We don't have the MOA back yet, but they've received it and they're working on that internally. Residential annexation, I guess that's might be a larger discussion item, or maybe another longer work session, but we're going to keep that on there. Mayor and Council Planning Retreat. January 7th is a day that Carl Vinson can do that. Gordon Maynor cannot do it. They have several facilitators. Chrissy Marlowe would be the facilitator available that day. She does a lot of these planning sessions. The 2 cities I talked to we're very happy with her. You know, I told her, it's a new group in Snellville, and I think Gordon has told her that, you know, don't be afraid. And, so.
Have you talked to her? Are you confident she can handle this?
I think so. And,
Are you gonna cry?
We're not near the group to handle what we were in the past.
it's a, so
Who's the
I,
designated crier?
and I think Athens is a good location, if y'all are okay with that. It's far enough out of town. So, okay, we'll, January 7th from 8 to 5. And the town plaza, Bobby, I know you had that plan and have sent that out. Anything to discuss?
Got an update from Michael Kidd. He sent me something on the 23rd. I haven't sent it around yet because we're waiting on a couple of more pieces. And those two pieces have more to do with some maintenance projections and what it actually costs to operate these things. I want to get some of that information and then I'll forward it all at one time.
Good deal.
And Swanee just turned theirs on and apparently it's a big deal.
Everybody got wet.
Turn their what on?
They're
Okay, that's everything on the list. Item D,
Not been on?
wet pad. No, they just
That's
Ms.
me.
Linsky?
Yeah, I wanted for us to think about this issue that I ran into this weekend as I ran into conflicts, and I think we're gonna see that we have increasing number of conflicts between city events and the use of our facilities with the Snellville Youth Commission. We traditionally use the community room, and that was of course being taken, and next month it's going to be taken as well. And for a monthly meeting, I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could just move over to the senior center? And little did I know that that was gonna be a task that would take about 4 or 5 different emails. And I don't think that we have really ever run into this before as a council, that we really do need to have access to another facility. Miss Gale had to come in as my attendant, and I had to schedule a time with her. When she had to open up the building, I had to fill out a 3-page rental contract, which I don't have a senior center number, so I need to borrow yours, Tom, for that part. And ow!
Christie, I think just stop there because you're
Just
done.
stop there. Okay.
I think you're not getting anything now.
You're done, but please keep going.
Process. My point being is that there really is nothing in place for my situation, and I think a situation that many of us will be running into soon. If any of the council members want to use the facilities for the senior center for an event, because we have scheduled something over here and there's other things going on as we continue to have these events growing in our city, this doesn't really apply to me. I don't really have to produce a fee or deposit, and I had to put down, my fake insurance and things like that, and it was just about 4 or 5 steps longer than I needed to go through for this particular deal.
And I think you have another issue, unless this has changed from the past, that you can't have a meeting there unless like half or 3/4 of your group are over 55 or 60.
And I
believe
was-
that's over, Barb.
That's over?
Right,
Okay.
and that was no longer applicable, but then I
Okay.
was told that I shouldn't sign in because that didn't apply, so it wasn't as even if we were there, but we were there. But I, as a council member, have an access code to come in here anytime, but yet I have to wait for somebody to go over there. And it just seemed like there was no category for this, and I think we're going to run into this as a city, and we need to have some policy in place that we do have access to the senior center, because this is a growing city. We have events that are gonna need to have a place to go. And to be honest, it would have actually been easier to the point that I was at, and I mean, they're simply just following procedure. This is not a complaint by any means, but it's a matter of, there's a whole new category coming in that we haven't prepared for that we need to rethink. And that's kind of where I'm at with this. It would have been actually a little bit easier for me to just pull the kids and take them over to the school.
We just need to
And-
coordinate our calendars.
Well, yeah.
And, when it comes to,
Well, there's a couple
access
of
like that,
issues.
'cause that's-
I don't think that, as a member of council, that you should have to I agree with you about all that paperwork and everything. I
And
mean,
you're
you know,
not-
yeah, it's kind of, like you say, we can come in here in the community room and we can be responsible for the entire city hall facility. It shouldn't be that many layers harder for us to do something that seems that I can see having to schedule it, having to make sure, you know, that we
Right.
have access and things like that. But I don't think we should have to go through the same thing as someone's trying to rent the facility, because first of all, what's this about? It's about our seniors, our kids that are volunteering to be ambassadors for the city, and the teachers and people who are donating their time to work with those kids. We should make, in my mind, everything as easily as we possibly can in those situations so that we're not in the way of that, but quite the opposite, supporting it by making it as
Right.
available as we possibly can. So,
What, can I ask what the conflict is? I'm just wondering, because, and maybe don't even answer that yet. But my thought is, I know that a lot of times, just wondering who's using the rooms and what's going on, because sometimes like a council member will sponsor like a homeowners group to come
Right.
in that's not really part of the city, and maybe we need to put together a policy so that we're all just not, agreeing to use a room for some unrelated purpose.
Right, in this case, it's Arts Commission, and with Arts Commission in the community room, they obviously have the paintings. I'm flexible and I can move, my kids can go anywhere, so, really, I think it's just a matter of circumstances. And there are some things that do need to be in here for convenience purposes and the facilities here. For me, I can go over it, it's not a big deal to move the kids around, because I don't need to move the art, so, for another
You- you-
organization,
You possibly could have gone in the council room.
I thought about that too, and we kicked that around.
They serve lunch.
What's that?
We
They
do
serve
eat,
lunch.
so,
Okay.
we do have food.
Well,
and
you need a process, but we need
Right.
to coordinate
It just
those
needs to be
calendars
easier.
to know as early as possible, there's a conflict here, what are our
well, let's do
options?
this.
So we can
Let's
definitely
get
do that.
everybody in agreement with this then. Let's ask staff to set or to propose a policy for how the mayor and council handles sponsoring rooms in City Hall and also in the senior center.
We've got a policy for City Hall, we just need to coordinate
Just
with the
need to
senior
coordinate
center.
for senior
And it's
center.
the same thing, should be for the park too, because there's times that we, we sponsor
That's
things at the park. We have people come to us, ask us to sponsor. So let's set it up, you set up a policy for senior center and the park on how you want the mayor and council to
Just to use
go about,
policy.
what procedure you want to acquire the use of those facilities, and then how they're made available to them on those days and dates.
And he also made something for unexpected needs. You could come in here, have something scheduled, and there's a water
Right.
leak, you need to go somewhere else.
And it
And it's
sometimes
last
is a
minute
matter
deal.
of that.
So who do we call, how do we?
And what procedure for key pickup? Can we have a simplistic
Does
method
the
of?
senior center not have the same kind of entry systems that we
No,
have? Don't have
no,
that? Key?
it's a separate key. Miss Gale had to come up here special for me and sit here with me all day,
Well,
and the
there's
kids.
no reason that there
And
cannot
she
be
had to
a,
be paid for that too, by the way.
what?
She gets paid for that also, as she's the attendant, so she's earning money while I'm in that senior center for 4 hours,
So do attendants over
the
here.
attendant.
Yeah.
Mhm. But I don't need an attendant over here. So,
And you shouldn't need one in the senior center if it's a member of the council. One council member is responsible for it.
Yeah.
We don't run into,
Yeah.
There was a
And-
we never run into
misunderstanding
issues
because
here
of
with
short
us.
okay,
And Debbie misunderstood me because I said we didn't need an attendant, but she had already
Okay.
scheduled Gail, and I didn't want to cancel Gail when she
Okay.
had scheduled her. So that was a misunderstanding, because really I agree with you.
so that's not usually
That's why I feel-
procedure, okay.
Yeah,
So, yeah, if I can just get keys somewhere, I mean, honestly, I felt like I was being a big pain to everybody, but on the other hand, it was like, I want this to happen for the kids, so just want it to be easier.
You're doing
We can hit
something
that
that
off.
we need done, so, I appreciate you, and your kids putting the time in. We just gotta
Thank
see if we can make it as easy for you as we possibly can.
when you need them.
Okay.
get in City
Hall and you're
just.
Or I can stop,
Anything
I can
else
stop
about that,
by.
Christie?
No, I'm good, I'm
You're good
vented.
now? Yeah. Christie's happy?
I'm happy.
Okay,
Yeah, and I actually sent them. I didn't realize they were booked already. I'm like,
during a work session of the mayor and city council of Snellville, Georgia, Mayor Witz announced that certain matters will be discussed in a closed session of the meeting.